Wildcard weekend is almost over. Well, it might be over for you already if you're listening to this later in the week, but the schedule for the divisional round is set for the Packers. The Green and Gold are 2 wins away from the Super Bowl, and our first hurdle will be a grudge match against the San Francisco 49ers. We'll preview that matchup, give our predictions for the game, and also share a ton of listener feedback from you. All coming up next on your Packers Fan Podcast.
Welcome to the playoffs, Packers people. I'm Wayne Henderson from MediaVoiceovers.com, and I can't wait to watch the magic happen at Lambeau Field this Saturday night. Can I get a Go Pack Go?
Go Pack Go indeed. I'm Scott Clark from the Gaming Outsider, and I have to say that this weekend's wildcard games were pretty lopsided for the most part. It also felt a bit weird not having a team to cheer for, but that's all about to change this weekend for sure. On this 248th edition of Your Packers Fan Podcast, we'll preview next Saturday's divisional playoff game at Lambeau Field. The 49ers are coming to play against our 13-time NFL champion Green Bay Packers.
And Scott, you'll be bringing the playoff-level keys to a Packers victory over Frisco, and we'll share a ton of your great listener feedback as well. In fact, since we don't have a game to recap, let's go ahead and dig right into the listener feedback. But we want to let you know that we want to hear from you for next week's show. So right after the game, after we beat those pesky 49ers, give us a call at 1-920-3PACK-GO or send your voice message to feedback at PackersFanPodcast.com. The deadline is Sunday night at midnight Eastern, but of course, why not just call us right after the victory or first thing Sunday morning after the game? What do you think?
I'm all for it, man.
2 thumbs up from this guy. Let's check in and see who gave us a call at 920-3PACK-GO. Ooh, it looks like David in Virginia.
Hey, Wayne and Scott. This is David out in Virginia. Sorry if my voice is a little off, but got the crud going on. I actually picked San Francisco to win this game, and I'm going to be honest that I think that this is a tough matchup for Green Bay. They're a very good running team, and they just seem to play us really tough. I know we beat them earlier in the season, but it's kind of a different team that's playing, and I'd also say Green Bay's defense is not playing as well either. I still have hope. And I think it's going to be a really good game. Go Pack, go.
Thanks so much, David. Hope that you feel better soon, man. I know that the crud is going around all over the place up here, too. So wish you a speedy recovery and hope that you feel better soon. Yeah, I know you said you picked the Niners to beat the Cowboys. I think I did as well. That was I didn't have any faith in the Cowboys to win that game, but and it's not a biased opinion. I was just looking at the stats, but like David, I also have hope for this game, but it makes me extremely nervous. That run game is a force to be reckoned with, and I'll talk about that more in my keys to victory. How are you feeling about the game, Wayne?
I'm feeling really good about the game, and I'll have more details later in the game as well. I did think the Cowboys were going to beat the Niners. I just had a feeling all the home teams we're going to win this weekend. I just thought the advantage of being in Dallas, but Dallas, they're not there quite yet.
Not quite. One of these years. And I was really hoping for McCarthy to be able to come back to Green Bay. That was going to kind of be a bittersweet moment, but hey, it is what it is. And
I know there was a lot of confusion regarding that final play of the game and how it's supposed to be handled when you run down the field with 8 seconds to go, trying to hurry and spike it. But at the same time, I do think that referee did not do his due diligence to try to conserve time and get out of the way.
Yeah, I was going to mention that as well, too. It was a very unfortunate, just a crazy way for a game to end.
Yeah.
Because I had people texting me saying, well, looks like we're playing the Niners, and I wasn't even watching the game at that point. And they said, well, wait a minute, something's happening here. And so I flipped the game over just to watch that final drive and could not believe the way that happened. I mean, they still had a lot of things that needed to happen in 14 seconds, but it was it made for an interesting end. You almost feel sorry for the Cowboys fans at that point, but I don't know. That play call for that last play wasn't very smart anyway, so
good point.
I don't know.
Good point indeed.
Go, Pack, go! Go, Pack, go! Hey guys, Andre in LA just saw your posts on Instagram, so I'm calling for my predictions for next week or keys to victory. definitely it's based off what I saw today against the Cowboys. We really just need to focus on the run. Their passing offense is almost non-existent in my eyes. And we are really great against the pass. We have a very opportunistic defense. Our offense, I know San Francisco's defense looks good, but our offense is way more efficient. Rodgers is not sloppy with the ball. Dak Prescott, it just seemed like he was just not accurate at all. As long as we can protect Rodgers, I know about we get a lot of people back from injuries. I trust the coaching. Matt LaFleur, he's got an extra week. And I think the 49ers is a good, not to look ahead. Seems like a good team, a good tune-up team, setting up for a rematch against the Buccaneers. Because Tampa Bay didn't look great, but they look good enough to where we have to worry about them. And it does seem to be some sort of mystique with Tom Brady, He may be the GOAT, but doesn't mean he can't be beaten. Just like, Rocky and Rocky IV, the Russian was cut. So I believe in the Packers. That's an old reference for some people. But I trust our offensive line to protect Rodgers. I trust our running game with Dillon and Jones. Our receiving core, I know we use the tight end a lot. I trust LaFleur to be creative on offense and go for it when we need to. And I trust Rodgers to not turn the ball over. And that's what I'm looking forward to. Those are my keys to victory. Called in. It was a great weekend of football. Hope everybody had a safe weekend, and can't wait till next week. Love you guys. Andre in LA. Go Pack, go!
Go Pack, go indeed, Andre. Love you too. Thank you so much for giving us a call at +1 920 3PACK-GO. And yes, Saturday night is going to be lit. And Andre is very confident in the Green Bay Packers, as well as he should be, because if we could just stop the Niners' run, Scott, and I have a feeling you may have a similar keys to victory once we get to that portion of our preview.
Oh, for sure. That's going to be huge because I don't know if you've been watching that, but they've even got their wide receiver pulling running back duties, which I'll talk about a little bit more specifically later. But this was a game this was a matchup that was making me nervous about the possibilities, and I don't know what it is about San Francisco. They've just kind of been a thorn in our side these past few seasons, and hopefully we'll be able to pull this one off.
Yeah, I looked at all the different possibilities of teams that could come to Lambeau, and none really made me more nervous than the other.
Mm-hmm.
This matchup, it's just that I hate the 49ers so much, and so that's been established many times in the past, so no worries there. Andre, great points about, LaFleur. He's a good game schemer. We're confident in his choices, and we can be pretty confident Aaron Rodgers is not going to throw the ball to the Niners, so belief in the Packers.
I believe. It just takes a little bit more than belief, but let's do it.
Here we go, 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 Pack, go. Divisional round coming up next Saturday night. Super stoked. I don't care that it's the 49ers. Everybody seems to be on this thought train that they're the most dangerous team in the playoffs right now. After watching that game against Dallas last night, I'm not on that bandwagon. They had, it looked like 17 penalties, or Dallas did, and San Francisco still barely eked out that win. Garoppolo had an interception. Their starting quarterback had something like 25 runs and still didn't even manage to hit 100 yards. The one that I'm fearing, I guess, if that's the right word or not, or concerned of, is Deebo Samuel, because he's a man. That guy is he's something else. And we seem to always have a problem with teams' number ones, like when Cooper Kupp tore us up. Of course, between him and Devontae, there can be an argument made that either one of those two guys are the best wide receivers in the NFL right now. But Deebo's definitely in that conversation too, and we seem to have a problem covering those guys. But we're getting a lot of guys healthy back on the field. Our number one starters at the start of the season, where our defense looks so dominating. The defense has shown some regression the last half of the season, but I think that was due to missing out those injuries. And those guys that stepped up in their absence they did a really good job. I mean, still came down with that 13-4 record. First team in NFL history since 1919 to go 13 wins 3 consecutive years. Of course, they didn't always play as many games as they did back in 1919, but it's still an impressive record that's the first time that's ever happened. And we didn't need 17 games to do it because we lost that last one. So you can't really put an asterisk on that one either, Scott. Just like, yes, and I did go back and look, and Jordy Nelson did play 16 games, just like Devontae Adams did when he made his franchise yardage record. Looking forward to this game, and I met up with I started talking with a buddy of mine that I knew in the Army about 15 years ago that we were stationed and did a couple of deployments together, and found out he's a 49er fan, but he's going to be going to this game, and it's going to be his first one. And I was on the fence. I pulled the trigger, and I'll be going to that game too with my girlfriend. So looking forward to that. Also found out that somebody else that we might have mutual knowledge of go to the game, but I don't want to be the one to break that news. Anyways, looking forward to next Saturday night, 7:15 Central. Going to be cold as you know what. Scott's kind of football weather. Let's do this. Let's punch our ticket to the NFC Championship, the third one in 5 years. And we're 3 wins away from being Super Bowl champions. Go, Pack, go!
Thanks so much, Dan. Always great to hear from you. It's so awesome that you get to go to that game with your girlfriend. And yes, he was alluding to the fact, and I will go ahead and say it right now, that I will also be in attendance at this game at Lambeau. So I'm looking forward to the possibility to meet up with Dan and his girlfriend at some point to say hi and see his Pack Sparrow get up in person, live in person. So,
man, I'm getting a bit jealous of all you guys getting to go to that game, but it is going to be cold. So I assume layers is the key to you being victorious and surviving the game.
Oh, yeah, this is definitely my kind of football weather, like Dan said. We'll be wearing layers, but thankfully, since we're playing on Saturday, it won't be as cold as it's looking like it's going to be on Sunday, but It still will be very, very cold. So, yeah, I'm so glad Dan's not worried about the Niners. I'm very, very worried. I don't know, that run game looks pretty good. He talked about Deebo Samuels, which I mentioned earlier as well. And like both he and David said, our defense has regressed a bit, but he makes a good point about getting healthier. I just worry that we haven't had, as much time together as a healthy defense to be as formidable as we would like them to be. But let's hope for the best for sure, because that defense really needs to step up against that run this week.
I think the Packers, more than any of the other teams left in the playoffs right now, we are pretty much the healthiest team there. We're getting people back left and right, while even the Buccaneers are getting fresh new injuries, as well as the 49ers. So with all of our healthy guys and Cobb and all of that, I'm looking forward to being a witness to this magical season. I think the only thing that worries me about this game or any game is just the one-and-done finality of it all. It's like we got to be on our game. Mostly the Packers do, but us fans, we got to be on our game as well. 60 minutes of football, people. Hopefully no overtime. That's going to make it really rough.
Oh, man. And 4 quarters of football, please, guys. 4 quarters, not the last 2. Just saying.
Hi, Wayne and Scott. It's Megan. It's Monday morning. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Watch some football, relax, stress-free, no heart attack. Wanted to call and give my thoughts on the upcoming game versus the 49ers. I didn't pay as close of attention as I would during a Packer game, but San Fran played surprisingly well yesterday. Not that they scare me when we have the MVP of the NFL as our leader, but we have to start strong and, really not take our foot off the gas at all in any offense, defense, special teams. We have to contain the pass, obviously stop the run from the get-go. And I do believe we can do that. I really do. I hope the play calls are aggressive. Matt will hopefully, I believe he will maintain his commitment to the run. I'm excited to see how Jonesy and A.J. Dillon are used this week, especially in the cold weather. I hope it's cold. I bet they hope it's cold. Eager to see Devondre come back on the other side of the ball. It'll be good for everyone coming off a good chunk of rest, like this past week bye, and then also the late in the season bye, I think is a huge advantage for all of us. Also, given the fact that it's San Francisco, it's cool that it's at Lambeau this time. I'd imagine quite a few of the guys who were on the team a few years ago feel they have more to play for. I totally believe in our team and our coaches to come up with an efficient and dominant game plan. I hope they keep it simple and entertaining or whatever, but not too cute, like Devontae would say. But I wouldn't mind to see Aaron flip it to Cobb, who would toss it to Devontae in the end zone. That'd be pretty awesome. I hope the injured guys are rehabbing well. They all come back. I hope to see MVS and Cobb. Obviously, Jair and Z at some point, but can't wait to watch us come out and dominate. Go, Pack, go!
Go, Pack, go indeed. Megan, thank you so much for giving us a call at +1 920 3-PACK-GO. And yes, San Fran played surprisingly well, like you said, but Megan also not scared because we have the MVP, Aaron Rodgers. And I agree, Megan, we need to get out to a fast start, aggressive play calling, and maybe even a touchdown to Randall Cobb. And great point about the bye week. I think it is going to be a huge advantage for us because Aaron Rodgers' toe is now fully healed pretty much. More guys are coming back. The bye week in the regular season came in quite handy. And don't forget, if we win these next 2 home games, we get another bye week before the Super Bowl, Scott.
That's a good point. Yeah, while the Pro Bowl's going on, we would definitely get an extra week. But you know what? So would the AFC teams. So it's not really an advantage. But yeah, it gives us an opportunity to get healthy again. Megan, like Dan, not worried about San Francisco. And I could tell in her voice because usually when she's calling in all caps. That is the most relaxed I think I've ever heard Megan on a call. It was crazy, but it was great to hear from you for sure. And I would love to see a touchdown to Cobb as well. Just we've missed him for a few weeks now. So plus we're getting back. Is Zadarius Smith coming back?
Yes.
And,
yes.
So that could be huge. I think Jair Alexander is supposed to be back as well. So I haven't looked at because we don't have the dope sheet yet, right? That's not out yet.
It usually doesn't come out till Tuesday evening.
Till Tuesday, yeah. So we don't see that yet. It'll be interesting to see just how many injuries we actually do have, because I get the feeling that those numbers are dwindling, which is a very good thing to know going into the first week of the playoffs for sure. Indeed.
And we do want to hear from everybody after the 49ers game. Again, give us a call right after the game or first thing Sunday morning at +1 920 3-PACK-GO. And now to get a pulse of the fans, our weekly poll in our Facebook group, which you can find at PackersCommunity.com, as well as on Twitter. You can take part of the poll voting at Packers Fan Pod. How are you thinking the Niners at Packers playoff game will end? Will it be stars in our eyes because the Packers win by 10 or more points? Are we going to be whistling happy tunes because we're going to win by just a touchdown? Or are we going to be a little shocked because the victory will be a very close one? Or are we going to be sighing because the ending will be inconceivable? What do you think, Scott? Without giving away our exact score picks that we'll be having in our Wager-O Fun section.
Yeah, I'm going to go with my heart on this one instead of my head, and I'm going to say Packers win a close one, mostly because a couple of the games, like I mentioned in the intro, were very lopsided and almost seemed like, why are we even having this game?
That's what Bill Belichick was thinking.
Oh, my goodness. I just couldn't even, I'm so used to Wildcard Weekend being at least mostly entertaining football. I guess the Dallas 49ers game, wasn't terrible. And the game last night started out interestingly enough. But, I don't know. It just, we're due for a heart attack game, whether it be our game or anybody else's game. So I'm going to go with my heart and say Packers will win, but it will be very close. How about you?
And speaking of that Buffalo Bills-Patriots game, it was a huge blowout, but I was highly entertained. Just saying. And my exact score breakdown will be later on in the Wager-O Fun section, but I can say that we are going to win by at least a touchdown.
All right.
So the votes that came in after combining Facebook and Twitter, and they were a little bit different on both sides, so I had to do some averaging and stuff. It looks like the big winner will be the Packers win by 10 or more points. Yeah. That got 36% of the votes. 33% of the votes went to the Packers win by a touchdown. 25% of you voters say the Packers are going to win a close one. I am blown away that anybody. But 6% said the ending will be inconceivable.
Let's hope that's not a case. So that's what the listeners thought, but let's get some specific comments on the poll as well. First off, Garrett said, I think this win over Dallas leaves the Niners drained emotionally and physically. They have some injuries and a short week to prep for Green Bay. Jimmy G doesn't look exactly accurate. Debo did all the damage. I think we can predict a Pack win versus the Niners. It will be a rushing war in the trenches. And he goes on to predict Green Bay 24, San Francisco 13. That sounds like a quality game. I hope it's that score for sure. David also wrote in and said, I'm not going to lie, I picked this matchup, but it's the matchup I least wanted to see. And I think he's talking about, he assumed that we'd be playing San Francisco.
Right.
Goes on to say they're a physical running team, and Debo Samuel is a nightmare. On top of that, their defense is playing well right now. These are two different teams from when they played each other earlier in the year. They were probably not the best team to handle the elements in Green Bay. Still picking Green Bay to win, but I definitely have nerves going into this game. I feel very much the same as David. I am hopeful and optimistic, but there's that nagging feeling in the back. I hope we can handle that run game.
And we'll have to see how their new injuries to the 49ers, they had one or two on defense. If they're not able to make the trip to Lambeau and play, might not be that bad. We'll have to wait and see. Scott Boers posted his comment, if the weather forecast holds up, and I think this game will be Saturday night, which it is, Packers, please run the ball.
Yeah, for sure.
Excellent points as well. Dictus in the Netherlands, the Niners barely beat an undisciplined Cowboys team that kept shooting themselves in the foot and are led by a mistake-prone quarterback. If we can stop the run and stop Debo and Jimmy G has to beat us through the air, I predict 2 Jimmy G interceptions and a solid game by Rodgers. Packers win, and it will be a 2-possession game real fast. Ooh, I like the sound of that, Dictus. Fly that flag. Fly it. And Dan Dyler says the Niners have to come into our house, not to mention we won't have McCarthy coaching. Thank goodness. Oh, ouch.
And Aaron Peterson also commented and said, literally the only team in the NFL I didn't want us to play because they're our kryptonite. Well, hopefully we can Superman our way out of this one and get past the Niners because we're long overdue, for sure. Thank you so much to everybody for all the comments, just in general, but also on the poll. And we want to make sure to invite everybody else to please join the Facebook group, be part of the conversation yourself. Let your voice be heard, especially during our game day live discussion thread. It's going to be epic this Saturday. Just know that I probably won't be able to contribute as much because I'm going to be there. And I don't want to be on my phone. I want to watch the game, soak it up as much as I can, and spend some time with good friends and my wife.
That sounds like a solid plan. We do hope that sometime maybe before the game you can do a quick Facebook Live, but I know things are crazy when you're at the game. That is for sure. Got a quick email. Hey, Wayne and Scott, this is Caleb, Kathy, and Roy Fisher from Green Bay, Wisconsin. What a crazy game the 49ers had. We just hope the Packers will watch this film. We're hoping the game will be 28-17 Packers. Go Pack, go. Bleed green and gold till dead and cold. Thank you, CCR. Let's dig into it now. Your number 1 seeded Green Bay Packers are hosting the number 6 seeded 49ers in the divisional round of the playoffs at 7:15 p.m. Central, Saturday, January 22nd, 2022. The Green Bay Packers lead the series 38-32 and 1 tie. We've met each other in the playoffs 8 times, which is a lot. They're practically in our division, it seems like.
It seems like it.
Because this will be the 5th time the Packers have faced the 49ers in the last 3 years since that other NFC Championship game. It's like, wow. Okay. For a while there, it was the Seahawks all the time. Now it's the 49ers. So wonder who we'll get next. And remember that magical year that Favre and the Packers won the Super Bowl? The game before the NFC Championship game in 1996, the divisional round of the playoffs, the Packers beat the 49ers at Lambeau Field. Does this all sound familiar, Scott? We beat the Niners 35-14. Let's please have a repeat of all that action.
That'd be great. And don't forget that every game against San Francisco is a grudge match for Aaron Rodgers. Because if you remember, the Niners chose Alex Smith over him in the 2005 NFL Draft. Rodgers grew up in California. He was hoping to be a 49er because he was a fan as a kid. But when he was asked if he was disappointed, his response was, and I quote, "Not as disappointed as the 49ers will be that they didn't draft me." And just to go on with the stats, Rodgers has never won against the Niners in the postseason for those 3 games. So I'm going to go ahead and say it is time for that to be a thing.
Wow, I didn't realize that last stat. Yeah, it's definitely time. Let's get that monkey off his back and move on. Saturday night's weather at Lambeau Field, it could change a lot between now and then, but right now it's forecast to be mostly cloudy, windy, and cold, surprisingly, in January. 16 degrees Fahrenheit at kickoff, which would be around -9 degrees Celsius. And of course, Scott, don't forget the wind chill factor. It's real, right?
Absolutely. You definitely need to factor for that wind chill. 16 degrees sounds not too bad until you factor in that wind, and it kind of gets in there in that bowl in the stadium. So for sure, if you are going to the game, bundle up in layers. Absolutely.
We got to at least get a photo from where your vantage point is to see the view that you're going to have. And that way we can all look for you on television as far as the other folks that will be there, because you just never know. But I do have a quick thing to say to you, Scott. Keys to victory. Scott's got keys to victory. Keys to victory. Scott's got keys to win.
Oh my goodness, there's a theme song now?
No, just for this week, only because it's the Niners.
All right, sounds good. I was wondering what Alouette meant in the format, but all right, it all makes sense now. All right, so I'm going to kick things off with the obvious one, that the running game is going to be key on both sides of the ball. The 49ers are dangerous on the ground between rookie Elijah Mitchell, who has got 963 yards in just 11 games, and wide receiver Deebo Samuel, who's been used as a running back in addition to his normal duties. This is where the Packers should focus their defense, something they've struggled with in the past. Keep in mind that Mitchell was injured when the Packers won at Levi Stadium. They especially need to watch the edges, as they proved against Dallas that the constant shifts and motions will throw off a defense. The Pack should be on the lookout, especially after getting fooled by multiple trick plays from the Lions. But as far as offense goes with the running game, that should be utilized more than passing due to the cold temperatures. We've seen just how difficult it is to tackle a guy the size of A.J. Dillon when the temperature is below freezing, and we should definitely take advantage of that. Secondly, it's time for the fully healthy O-line to protect. San Francisco finished the season with 48 sacks, which is 5th in the league. Although Nick Bosa might be out with a concussion and Fred Warner might be out with a sprained ankle, the rest of the line is still a formidable force to be reckoned with. Keeping Rodgers on his feet against the league's number 3 defense will be no easy task, but it's going to be a huge key to winning this game. Hopefully, and again, I don't wish ill will on any players, but if those 2 injuries hold up through the divisional round of the playoffs, that will definitely help us keep Aaron Rodgers not getting sacked for sure. Lastly, take advantage of the quarterback situation, but don't be overconfident. Overconfidence has been a problem, but now that the Packers are in the playoffs, there's just no room for it. Despite that fact, the quarterback matchup here is very much in our favor, especially with Jimmy G coming off of a thumb injury. Trey Lance is a solid backup, however, but Rodgers still has far better stats than either. On top of that, the Packers are 8-0 at Lambeau Field this season and are 5-1 against teams that made it to the playoffs this season. That one loss came when Rodgers was out, which is not the case this time, so he's going to be there this game. So it's time to keep that record alive and finally get payback against the thorn in our side that is the San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, man, you've got me fired up, Scott. I'm ready. I'm ready to watch this thing happen. Can we reschedule the game to tonight?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's cancel that Monday night game and bring in the Packers. Oh, good stuff, Scott. Good stuff. How do you think, as far as specifics go, how do you think the score is going to play out this Saturday night while you're there to put the team on your back and carry them over the goal line?
Well, as much as I would like to see the Packers run up just, 50-something points, I think the cold weather will be a factor, so it'll keep it a little bit lower scoring game. Packers, I'm going to predict, again, going with my heart. Part of me, Wayne, wanted to pick the other way just to gain me that 1 point back just in case, because it's kind of like a double shot kind of type of situation, but I'm going with my heart. There's no way I'm gonna pick against them this week. Packers 27, 49ers 21.
Okay. Okay, Packers win by 6. I see. Okay. And of course, I too would love us to blow them out. Say, in honor of them, 49-0 would be very appropriate, or more. But I think we're going to let them get some points. So Packers win 29-19.
Interesting.
And I know those are odd scores, but I think both teams are going to miss an extra point attempt or something like that.
Interesting. Very interesting. And as far as our 2021 to now 2022 season wager of fun, Wayne still currently has the lead with a score of 7-6. This game could tie things back up for me if the Packers win. If the Packers do end up, unfortunately, not having the higher score when the clock runs out in the fourth quarter, Wayne will have officially won the wager of fun for the year. So definitely this game matters a lot.
Oh, I love it. I can't wait to see what happens. And some of the other happenings around the NFL, we talked a little bit about the Buffalo Bills just lambasting the Colts. But when you take it down to the numbers, it's even more impressive. The Bills, I guess, according to the Trivial Warfare Army, the Bills are the first team in NFL history to go an entire game without punting or kicking a field goal or turning the ball over.
That's just an insane stat.
That's how you win games right there.
Yeah. I have a feeling that they'll be in the Super Bowl. Just saying.
Man, if it's Packers versus Bills, it could be one hell of a shootout.
Mm-hmm. Also, we mentioned it a little bit already, but the end of that Dallas Niners game was unreal. 14 seconds left, no timeouts. Dak Prescott runs it up the middle. And then they couldn't get set in time to spike the ball to get one more play off. And one of the refs bumped into the players before getting the ball set. Now, who knows what could have happened? Who knows?
Right.
It would have been one. I'm not even going to call it a Hail Mary because it would have been like a 35-yard pass or something in the end zone. But anything could have happened. But I just couldn't imagine being a Cowboys fan. That had to be so frustrating to watch. Not only the play call beforehand, but not being able to get set and lose it on, I don't even know if you call that a technicality, but like the ref just goes, game's over. I was like, oh, that's awful.
It was just a cluster of miscues, and that's a terrible way to end your season. But, oh well, they weren't going to get past the Packers or the Buccaneers anyway, so whatever.
Right. And then, we had some embarrassing blowouts, like you mentioned. The Bills 47, the Patriots 17, which, it could have been a lot worse than that from what I saw. And same with the Bucs game, Bucs over Eagles. I actually watched that game with some friends yesterday, 31-15. That also, should have been as lopsided. I think those 15 points came like all in the fourth quarter from the Eagles, or at least close to it. So sorry to our Eagles fans friends who are listening. That had to be a disappointment. But Tom Brady is a thing for sure. Also, did you hear about the controversy with the Raiders-Bengals game? Did you watch this?
Oh, I watched every single game all weekend long.
So for those that did not see this, I don't even remember which quarter it was. It wasn't like at the end of the game or anything, but Joe Burrow rolled to the right and nearly stepped out of bounds before throwing a touchdown pass. Ref blew the whistle while the ball was in the air, apparently thinking that he had stepped out of bounds, which he didn't. And the play was called a touchdown, was ruled a touchdown. And the NFL claimed, like the next day in their official statement, that the whistle was blown after the catch. But if you watch that tape, that clearly wasn't the case. Now, again, this is a situation where who knows what could have happened if it had been called back or if they had made him redo the play or whatever. But what an unfortunate thing for the Raiders fans because, the game was decided by a touchdown, not this one. But I don't know. That's what everybody's talking about on the social media nowadays.
So now the Raiders can stop talking about the tuck rule and that craziness. That this is going to be the thing they complain about for the next 20 years.
There you go.
It was a weird series of events, but I couldn't believe how much discussion there was over this quote unquote controversy, back in the studio at halftime and then even at the beginning of the next game, because they were trying to give, I think, the impression that when that whistle was inadvertently blown, that the defense of the Raiders just stood in their tracks and stopped doing anything. But it was like a millisecond before the catch was made. The Raiders didn't even have a chance to stop doing what they were doing because they heard the whistle.
Right.
Whether or not that was going to be a catch. And the part that was amazing to me was I thought Joe Burrow, originally watching it live, was out of bounds. But then you see the replay. He clearly was not out of bounds. Great play. And the Bengals could be a dangerous team as well. Obviously, they made it this far, but right now the Bills and the Chiefs look unstoppable in the AFC. Craziness all the way around.
Yeah, the divisional games next week in the AFC will be a lot of fun to watch. I'll probably be in a car driving up to Green Bay, but maybe I can watch it on my phone or something while we go up there, because that would be cool. So
I'm just hoping that somehow the Cardinals or the Rams, whoever wins tonight's game, which could be over by the time you hear this show, one of those teams hopefully can go into Tampa, somehow beat the Buccaneers. Please, 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 please.
Yes, for sure. Please make that happen. I'm so tired of... I respect Tom Brady. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I hate the guy. I just want him to go away. Part of me wants him to win just so that he can retire already. We can just be done with it.
Or have him win so he can come up to Lambeau Field and this time we get revenge.
There you go. Let's do it. Well, hey, everybody. My other podcast, The Gaming Outsider, is tackling a controversial topic this week. NFTs. If you're not familiar with that, means it is non-fungible tokens. My co-host, Zach, will be educating us on the possible impact that could have on the video game industry and what exactly NFTs are. You won't want to miss that, because I'm looking forward to getting educated myself. We also review new games Blackwind and Expeditions Rome. I would ask that you check it out, the same place you listen to this fine show, or you can also check out our website, thegamingoutsider.com.
I am definitely going to check out this episode of The Gaming Outsider, because it's interesting to think about how the NFTs work into the gaming industry as well. I've been learning about NFTs for about a year now. I haven't pulled the trigger on any, because for now they just seem like so speculative, and that I'm like, really, how can they be worth something when they're just a digital thing? So I'm going to tune in and hear how Zach is going to educate us about them, plus how they go into the gaming side of things as well. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. TheGamingOutsider.com. We do have the Value for Value program here at the Packers Fan Podcast, and Patreon is the place where you can help financially support your Packers Fan Podcast. Details on how you can do that and the rewards that could be involved for you at patreon.com/Packers Fan Podcast. Dan Dyler, thank you, and Go Pack Go for your Jim Ringo level patronage. Much appreciated. And Bryant, Willie Wood inspired thank yous and Go Pack Goes to you as well, sir. And Jay Walters, Go Pack Go, and thank yous for your AR-12 level patronage. It rocks.
We've also got some Favre-tastic thank yous and Go Pack Goes to Andre in LA, Colm Nolan from Ireland, Scott Bors, Miguel Ramirez from the Opposite to Track podcast, and Jeff Summerfield. Go Pack Goes and thank yous also to Joe Christensen, Hank Davis from the TPE Network of Podcasts, Matt Haig, and Beth Mentink. Thanks again for your support, everybody. If you too are interested in becoming a patron of the Packers Fan Podcast, check out the details at patreon.com/Packers Fan Podcast.
And please follow the Packers Fan Podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, and please tell your friends about the show. Have them join in, because there's room on the Packers Fan Podcast bandwagon as we head into the Super Bowl. Check it out. The Unofficial Packers Fan Podcast, not affiliated with the NFL or the Green Bay Packers, but that doesn't stop us from having a lot of fun, Scott.
For sure. Also, if you'd like to follow us on Twitter, our handle is @PackersFanPod. My personal handle is @GoCastScott, and Wayne's is @Wayne Henderson. And for extra playoff mojo, here's Patreon supporter Dan Dyler.
Hey, Packers Fan Podcast listeners, this is your cheesehead from Indianapolis, Dan, and I have just two words for you. Go, 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 Pack!